volleyball comes to the middle of the Baltic Sea in the Åland Islands. It's a joint hosted tournament between Sweden and Finland, back in the stunning surrounds of Åland and Mariehamn. Hello, good afternoon and welcome back to Beach Volleyball, the SWATCH World Tour here, presented by the PAF Open here in Åland, Finland. Well, we finished with the women's event. China victorious for the first time this season. It's on to the men we move. And I'm sad to report that although we have a cracking set of ties lined up for you, that it is raining here this afternoon. The crowd, though, have stuck it out. They've got the rain max on and all ready to watch the USA versus Poland, a repeat of the final we saw in Poland itself just a few weeks ago. So as you can see, it is raining as we look along the main draw hotel, the Archipelag. 19 degrees Celsius, still fairly warm and a very humid feel to the things. You get a feel that an almighty storm might be on the way. Well, they've played in worse of Todd Rogers and Fijalek-Dalhausser. Had to weather a form storm towards the start of this season as well, as Phil picked up a bit of a nasty injury. Took a very unexpected 9th place at the World Championships in Rome. But Big Phil is back on top form as well, and they haven't ruled out catching the Tour Champions leaders, of course, Emanuel and Alison. But what about Rogers-Prudel and Fijalek? It's been a real breakthrough season for the Poles. They got to their first ever SWATCH Tour final the other week on home sand in Starea Blanca. In the end, it went to 3 sets. They were just about unable to force past the former world and current Olympic champions, but Fijalek in particular, one of the top defenders in the young men's game at the moment. Well, as you can see from the brightness of the advertising hoardings and electronic screens around, it is a very, very dark day. It's a day in which the Americans have yet to play, so warming their bodies up and getting ready, of course, for their first match of the day. Time to meet our referee from China. It's hello to Hongyu Liu. And she'll be assisted at the other end by Julien Bruxelles of France.
First referee from China, Miss Hongyu Liu. Second referee from
supporters well in attendance, of course, clad in their green max, provided by the sponsors, very generously provided by the Play Against Friends. And it's all ready for the presentations. Remember, the prize at stake here is big. It's not quite the gold medal and a Grand Slam that was up for grabs between these two in Starea Blanca, but it's, as far as Rogers and Dalhausser are concerned, a chance to defend the Åland title they won against China last year in the final. No Chinese presence in this men's Final Four. The second semi will see Brazil versus Brazil, so it could be guaranteed yet another USA-Brazil heavyweight showdown. In order for that to happen, the Professor and the Thin Beast must get past the young pretenders from Poland, a team that will no doubt have much to say next year if they can continue this wonderful form they're in at the minute. The United States playing in blue. Big Phil and Todd already presented. It's hello there to Rogers-Prudel, who does the blocking in this partnership. And Fijalek, very, very fast rising stock that he has.
Good luck, gentlemen.
Time for a quick good luck. Not sure how much each team will mean it to each other. Of course, both wanting the win, both wanting the opportunity to play for gold tomorrow afternoon. So you have the gold for China already at this tournament this week at the Åland Open. The United States will be looking to try and push past Poland here. They won the toss. Poland will serve first from right to left in white. It'll be Fijalek to get us underway. First target is Todd Rogers. Oh, good one. Called a joust, so they'll hit again, and they'll hit nicely. As the referee saw that as a joust at the net, here we go. Doesn't count as a touch when it lands on your side, so there's the first, second and third hit down the centre with a point for Poland. Fijalek to go again. Really jumped on Todd Rogers that as it took the touch over the net. Yet another joust this time. Well, it's called against Todd Rogers, in fact. I think he's given reaching over there. No, it's a net touch. No arguments from Rogers. More disappointed with himself than anything. Fijalek this time changes the angle of serve. Opts with power. And with Dalhausser going long, this has been a wonderful 1-2-3 start from Poland. Great stuff from Fijalek. And of course Prudel, who's lost just the once this week. Early doors as well to Numodor and Schul of the Netherlands. Team that were on the podium at the European Championships last week. Prudel and Fijalek though giving away their first point of this semi. Interesting to see them serve to both Rogers and Dalhausser there in the opening points. Confidence being shown by that. Just wanting to put pressure on the Americans, and even though Big Phil does tend to side out fairly easy, making sure he knew he was in the game. Chance now for Fijalek to hit. Does so. Rogers defends, has to be kept in. Chance for Prudel to finish off. The thin beast gets a touch but blocks out. It is 4-1 Poland. Talking about the Polish loss earlier in the week, it was in just the second round of Numodor and Schul, so they had a long way to come through the contenders bracket. They beat the Swiss, the United States team of FIVB and Nick Lucena, Benes and Kubala alongside Lupo Nicolai of Italy before a quarter-final win this morning against Jonathan Erdmann and Kai Matisik. Matisik and Erdmann, remember, their opponents too in that Polish home second-place finish. That was in the semi-finals. They overcame them to take on this United States team in the final. A very exciting final in front of an enthusiastic crowd in Staria Blanca, as it always is. Americans in the end admitted they were pushed a long way. Prudel was carrying an injury to his hand on that day. In fact, recognised by Todd Rogers in the post-match interview as Big Phil serves strong. Fijalek hits and hits with interest. Good return, 5-2, a very good start for the Poles. Meantime, talking of injuries, Phil Dalhausser still bothered by that left ankle, keeping it strapped up and trying to manage it until the end of the season. Of course, there are domestic events to go and play in for the Americans after the Hague tournament next week. Needs to be seen whether Todd and Fiddle will go. I think they will. Talking about keeping their eye on the Tour Championship. They're behind, but they could still win it if they could overturn Emmanuel and Allison, who are in the second semi, by the way. To keep pressure on their opponents as far as the Tour Championship's concerned, they realistically have to defend their title and win here. Rogers and Dalhausser as Rogers serves. Drops it just beyond the net. Fijalek look on to meet the set of his partner Prudel, but give him all the time in the world to try and measure a cut shot up against Dalhausser. In the end, swiping the ball down. Vertical motion. 6-3 Poland. Prudel will be to serve. Peels off as Rogers goes for the cut shot. There's a chance for a counter-attack now. Fijalek through the arms, and the big arms, that is, as well, of Dalhausser into the sand, and this is a very, very impressive stuff from the young Poles. Left the gate wide open there to Dalhausser. Rain still falls as out is the call. Americans looking a little off colour here at the start of the semi-final. Remember their win in Poland a few weeks ago was the USA's 50th male gold medal in FIVB SWATCH Tour history. Unable to add to that last week as Ricardo and his new partner Pedro Cunha picked up the win, I should say 2 weeks ago now in Klagenfurt. The SWATCH Tour was given a week off. Oh, good blocking. Well read though, over in two, they had to stick it out there. Good strong play by both teams in the end. Phil Dalhausser got the point, very much needed as far as the Americans are concerned.
With 2 touches every time you play with the nets. 4 trades with Dalhausser.
Rain begins to get a little harder, I can tell you. The wind's dropped right off, the wind that was keeping most of the rain clouds away yesterday. Nothing more than the breeze at the minute. Nice roll. That sand will get wetter and firmer, by the way, as the rain continues. So with a firmer surface, expect possibility of some very, very strong serving indeed. That is, if these players can control this bowl, of course. Nearly at the end of the second full season we've used this new Mikasa ball. Felix controlling it well. Rogers takes a sting of it. Lovely high set from Fijalek-Prudel. He's one of the top setters in the world. And again, lovely demonstration of that. Beautiful play. It was put right on a plate for Rogers. (9-5) then. Rogers will serve. Floats the ball into Prudel. Women players today particularly have got quite a bit of mileage out of the float serve. Poland siding out and doing more at the minute. They have a 5-point lead against the Olympic champions. Rogers and Dalhausser interviewed in the local paper this week here in Åland, saying that their aim is to peak in London next year. All about the defence of their Olympic title. You know, they were disappointed with that 9th place at the World Championships. Just 120 points separate the Americans in second place from World Tour leaders Emmanuel and Allison. Good strong hit from Fijalek-Prudel. Prudel was down well, diving to his left. Net touch by Dalhausser. Great stuff by Prudel. Here is that net touch. Just brushing it with his chest on the way down. Good spot by the referee. Very difficult things to spot live. They do have the hardest job in the game, the referees. That's good serving. Fijalek causing problems to Dalhausser. He's going to read this one well, and here comes the counter-attack. Hit well. Hit beautifully, in fact. Rogers-Dalhausser still on the back foot. That lead has now grown to a whopping 6 points. No timeout still from the Americans. Again, so experienced as we saw in the final from Misty May, trainer, and Carrie Walsh and the Chinese. No need to panic. Certainly when you know that your opponents can turn down a blind alley. Of course, technical timeout just coming up. Hang on for that, hope to get a breather. Have to be careful though, not to let it slip too much. Fijalek-Dalhausser. They also know that a couple of blocks and he's right in the game. There's one of them. First one he's made in this match. It's already helped cut the arrears significantly. 4 points down, 8-12. Get a point here before the technical time, and it looks very different, doesn't it? Fijalek attempting to side out, and does so. That was important for Poland too. They push ahead once more, technical timeout, and well, I'm not sure they imagine being in such a luxurious position halfway through this first set. 13-8 up. Again, a majestically played cut shot by Grzegorz Fijalek. Dalhausser and Rogers in the meantime, wondering how to take on their opponents.
Let's hear it from the crowd. The guys are coming in.
Dalhausser yet to go on one of those big service runs that can destroy opponents. Fijalek defending pretty well. Prudel has been tested out too, diving to his left, remember. Even he's produced a couple of good saves to keep it in play. Look at the accuracy, though, that Fijalek's producing. The Americans not yet given up on the Tour Championship. They won't have given up here, even though there are still injury problems plaguing them both. They want to defend their Tour title, and of course their title here in Åland. Remember, they competed here for the first ever time last year. Win on debut. Wasn't a bad effort. the quality that's still to come with another Brazil-Brazil match. The crowd are hanging around. Poland to serve then. The rain teeming down now. Rogers has the beating of Prudel in the block. Americans unbeaten by contrast to the Poles, who had to come through that contenders bracket all the way from the second round. US beating the team of Andersson and Berg of Sweden, Skadland and Spinonger of Norway, as well as Benes and Kubal of the Czech Republic. Quarter-final against Marcio and Benjamin, who've since come through the contenders bracket, and we'll see in the second semi. Oh, that's a big mistake. Fijalek given the chance. Dalhausser putting him under pressure in the middle there. Had to go right or left and went long. And as Big Phil pats all the water and sand off the ball. Wants to get a nice clean hit here. If he does get a clean hit, allowed to the power is capable of, it could be trouble for Poland. Here he goes. Well read in the end. Fijalek will have a go. Nice hit. And look at the venom placed in it. Rogers was down to that well. Just couldn't take the sting out of it. Fijalek really getting his claws around the ball. 14-10 up. Good, strong, powerful beach volleyball we're seeing. First disappointing serve in a while from Grzegorz Fijalek. Fijalek, remember, so much to come from him. Just 23 years of age. Trains in Łódź with his 25-year-old partner Prudel. Twice come second on the World Tour. Really developed and exploded into life this tournament, though. Well played. Really well done. Had to bide their time there. Dalhausser denied them at the first opportunity. Didn't panic. There was the first. Here we go again. Thought about kill on two. Now I'll set up and allow Prudel to spike home down the centre of the court. Prudel serving down the line, targeting Todd Rogers. Ooh, close. Swinging left on. Rogers getting enough power in. Siding out to within 3 points now. It's not a bad effort considering there were 6 down, remember. They need a little more here in this first set, the United States. Todd Rogers has just told Phil Dalhausser to block the line here. In the end, it was a quick conversation, a couple of words, and they can change their tactics. Dalhausser going cross court. Clever reading of the game by Todd Rogers. They were aiming to hit line rather. Good hit. So we're into side-out mode. The gap not moving for the last few points. Prudel peeling off here. Touch off the fingers. Remember, it was that right hand of his that was all bandaged up, and they two played each other in the final a few weeks ago. So back to within 2. Dalhausser doing the business at the net. Rogers to serve. In towards Fijalek. Nice high set. And he's got the better of Dalhausser at the minute. Poland siding out for a 3-point lead. The pressure's on them slightly though, in the fact that the United States are slowly, bit by bit, coming back at them. Rogers takes down. Look to cut the ball. Looks as though he'd gone long. Certainly from up on high here, might have taken a bit of the line. Certainly no touch signal by the line judge. The referee must have just seen it hit the line. There we go. So they're in the game here. First set that the Poles were running away with. Could well end up fairly tight. Prudel. High bump set for Fijalek. Dalhausser says no. Prudel will have a second chance, but will be denied just as easily. The thin beast finally giving us a bit of a roar. Look at that rise. No way through. So 16-17. Certainly with Dalhausser on serve, this could be very dangerous for Poland. Work to do for Prudel. Rescued it brilliantly, in fact. Here they go, though. It's going to be Dalhausser swinging away. Prudel blocking, but blocking in. And it's 17 apiece. The Americans completing a wonderful recovery. All started with a good, strong serve. But the Poles on the back foot, and although they look fairly solid defensively, Dalhausser swinging with all of his might through the ball. With him on serve here, they'll be looking to complete the job now. Having been 6 points in front, that could be fairly mentally damaging for Poland. Oh well. Good serving again, putting Poland under pressure and in trouble. Timeout taken. It's worth remembering that the United States, for all the points they were down, still haven't taken time out themselves. Really leave it as a last resort, that one. So hard to control off the net. Fijalek might well shrug his shoulders, but then it was his reception that failed to take the heat out of the ball, that put his opponent, or I should say his teammate, in trouble. Certainly made his opponent smile. Crowd engrossed in this match. Well protected from the rain as well. Of course, this is the sunniest part for hours of sunshine in the summer months of the whole lot of the Nordic countries. And of course, being situated so north throughout the year, they're used to quite a bit of rain. So they know how to deal with it. Certainly not going to put them off watching what is turning out to be quite an entertaining spectacle. United States swinging ahead for the first time in the match. Cross-court signalled by Rogers. Dalhausser's job to try and block that, but he comes up with an absolute thunderbolt. Fijalek will smile about it because he knows there is nothing he could have done. Try and pass that one if you can. Directed into his chin by his partner, not intentionally, of course. Dalhausser in danger of finishing this all on his own. Oh, this time he gets unlucky. Not sure he'll be too disappointed though. He already has eked out the lead they need. Look at the power on that. And it's still rattling, I think. States can slide out to bring up set point here. Bumped up, pushed into space quite nicely by Dalhausser, and it will be an opportunity for the United States of America to serve for the first set. Entirely how they're unable to do so after being 6 down here is a question to pose to the Poles. Rogers then, the wet ball serving for the set, just pushes it towards Fijalek. Kill on 2 is well affected. So 1 set point saved. And they have to stop the Americans siding out here. Touch off the big block of Phil Dalhausser. Prudel it is to serve. Here we go with Rogers. He'll have the chance to bring up the set and does so with a perfectly placed cut shot, and what a recovery. 21-19 in the end by the thinnest of margins. Poland will have to go back to the drawing board and will wonder why a 6-point lead was not enough to take the set there. Yes, they're playing against the Olympic champs, the former world champs, the guys who've won everything there is to win in this game. But of course, an extremely talented young side. It's that experience, or lack of it, that has seen them fail to get back into the first set. 21-19. The Americans know that they've had a let-off there, but they've worked hard to get themselves into the position of strength in which they now find themselves. These guys, where do we go next? Well, more of the same as far as trying to get a lead. Of course, Fijalek-Dalhausser in inspired blocking and serving form in that first set. Certainly once he got his motors warmed up. He'll be hoping to continue the form into the second. So a slow start from the United States, peaking at the end of the first set. Exactly how they're hoping to time their Olympic preparations. To peak on Horse Guards Parade in front of 15,000 people is the aim next July and August. Here in Åland, they're a set up and halfway towards being given a chance to defend their Åland Open title.
It's time for second set.
So second set to begin. Worryingly for Poland, Fijalek-Dalhausser will start on serve. It's not far off. It's a very good lead, in fact, by Fijalek. Takes some bravery. Dalhausser firing in another missile, just missing its target. Fijalek goes, and again, both serves close. Right to the edges of the envelope. Everything being pushed. Can only push the boundaries of the court so far because they stay the same, I'm afraid. So 1-1. This is Rogers' turn as 2 line blocks are signalled. Looks to drop the line. Still getting a little too close to the net, I suspect. There we go. Dalhausser hand setting for Rogers. Good finish to the move. Setting and spiking well today, the Americans. Now they're in the roll. Dalhausser back to the line. You're looking for a bit more success. Sacrifices a bit of pace for accuracy. Rogers is there. Here comes the chance. Needs to be passed over. It was always asking a little too much of Todd Rogers there. Didn't even fling the arms at it in the end, Rogers. As it bounced back off the net. Fijalek, float serving. There's been jump serving throughout this match. Chance here, third touch, has to hit. Chance will come though. Goal left is the call. He went left, but also going the same way was Rogers-Prudel. 4-2 Poland. And once more, at the early part in this set, they have a lead. Lovely reach height. He might well punch the air. Every right to as well. Again, takes the pace off, swings the ball around and in towards Rogers in the end. He sides out. Just a point behind the USA. First side change in the second set. Takes off to the left as we look at it. Rogers there in blue, and they won the first set here in this first of 2 men's semi-finals we're bringing you live today. Brazil versus Brazil. Here's the second that's coming up a little later on. Prudel, very high hand setting. Easily finished off in the end by Fijalek. If they're to do it here, they'll have to pull off what will be their first win against the Olympic champions. 5 previous matches, 5 previous wins for Dalhausser and Rogers. 3 of them coming this year. The last of which we saw 3 weeks ago in Staria Blanca. That's real power though. Dalhausser swinging right through the ball. When he does that, invariably it ends up in another point ticking on for the USA on the scoreboard. No doubt that he'll be jump serving here. It's hard, hits to the right, and that is a wonderful piece of serving. Fijalek diving down to his right, literally could have done to keep it in though. Arrowed in like an absolute dot. The net touch made it even more complicated. Top stuff from a top player. 5-5. Across he goes. This time gives Prudel a test. Almost a delayed reaction there from Rogers going down. Going down in several instalments. That's because there's a touch on the block. Touch that just took it out of the reach of Rogers, who'd already committed to the dive. Fijalek. Solid serve of his own, but it's well controlled by Dalhausser. Has all the time in the world. Easy decision for him to place the ball down the line there. Watch Prudel go very early. Comes over the left, leaves the line exposed, really. Not on the same wavelength of his partner as far as blocking off the line's concerned, because he wasn't coming round the back either. Wide set from Poland. It's well read by the Americans though. Rogers now has a chance to put the States ahead. Prudel defends it, needs a good pass up into the corner against Dalhausser. The winner this time is Prudel. Great recovery from Poland. Rogers will feel he could have well won the point during that rally. That is Prudel wins. Picks up the glory. Float serve. It's coming away that towards the right-hand side of Dalhausser. Hit hard was the cry. Didn't hit hard enough. Brilliant stuff from Rogers. Has to get up. Still going here. Fijalek. Rogers once more. Dalhausser. And finally, there's a double touch from the United States. Well, Phil Dalhausser will be extremely disappointed he didn't finish that off earlier. So 2 points again for Poland. The United States have had the chances over the last couple of rallies. Poland with a real personification of hanging in there and playing tough. Rogers for Dalhausser, who makes up for his error. That is a smash and a half. And it's about time he showed it in the second set. Chances go begging, frustration builds, and that was the result. Fijalek and Prudel remain the team with the pressure on, though. They lost the first set by the minimum. Quite how they contrived to do it is a real question. Fijalek again will go. Solid defence from Rogers, who'll have the chance to finish off the move. Good pass. Oh, it's not good enough. Good idea, it has to be said, but the control failed him. We saw him do that a couple of weeks ago on numerous occasions in Poland. Something he's normally very, very good at. Read space. Rogers knows he was almost beaten. 8-8 though for the United States, who are back level. Set from Prudel. Fijalek off the head of Big Phil. And out for the Polish point.
Once again, Poland in the lead, 9-8.
Looking for their 22nd win on the SWATCH World Tour Beach Volleyball this week. Rogers-Dalhausser, it's their 49th tournament. We're looking to celebrate with a good 50th next week in The Hague. Good decision, good communication as well. Several shots of line there. That's where we're going, and that's where we went. Nicely played. Let's have a good height advantage though, of course. Dalhausser to be able to play those roll shots. 9 each as the rain continues. Prudel's been set up there in the corner. Faintest of faint touches off the block. Dennis Dalhausser points to himself in a gesture of, well, perhaps should have done a little better. Of course, they always ask a lot of these each other and themselves, these top athletes. Oh dear, dear, oh dear, oh dear. Poor stuff right through the set to the spike.
2 points up, 11-9. 1 more point before the technical timeout.
So a couple of metres back from the net. Couldn't find a place for it inside the court there. 11-9 Poland. The United States will go to the technical timeout at just a single point behind. And I'm sure they'll back their own ability to turn things around here and do it in 2. Poland, remember, at this stage in the first set, had a very healthy lead indeed. It was turned around. The Americans got into their stride fairly comprehensively towards the end of that first set.
Beach Volleyball SWATCH World Tour.
Something like that all the way through. Just a couple of errors creeping in the second here. Poland certainly just continuing to compete. I'm still asking plenty of questions of the USA. Most of which has been responded to in positive fashion. But there's still a point down.
Everyone is welcome. Let's give our guys a round of applause. Poland! USA!
Bath Open supporters in good spirits.
The
United States is set up here in this first men's semi-final against Poland. Dalhausser down the line. Powerful response by Prudel. Dalhausser failing to concretely repel that ball. To get some sort of a touch on it. Getting that left arm. Meantime, we await the ball for Grzegorz Fijalek, and he's been thrown one. See the rain dropping down off the cap of Dalhausser there. Fijalek back to jump serving, spectacularly dig out. Really well done Dalhausser there. Diving, it's a long way down, remember, from 2 meters to... Is it 2 meters 6, pardon, he's taller than that.
11-12.
Brilliantly done. As the finish into mix as well. Rogers drops it in front of Fijalek. Jousting away was Phil Dalhausser, winning that joust to draw them 12-12 level. Huge, huge period in the match as far as Poland are concerned now. Of course, he stays strong. Fijalek went into the net. Great cut shot, absolutely brilliant. No chance whatsoever there for Rogers. Just see how dark it's gone. Look at the light being emitted by those electronic advertising boards. It's almost as if we need floodlights here. Certainly no sunglasses needed. Good leave in the end. Communication is solid between the Americans. 13 apiece. Dalhausser on serve. Americans level. Potential dangerous moment coming up for Poland. Good serving again. Fijalek does his best to dig out. 79.4 kilometers an hour, as you can see. That asking a bit too much of Dalhausser. Got the longest reach of just about anybody on tour, but still couldn't get to that one. Rogers, Dalhausser, Rogers again. Fijalek meets it. Chance for him to attack. Attacks well for a Polish lead. Well, great time to take the lead as well. No wonder Rogers is angry with himself. 2 points up. Approaching the final part of the second set. It's a set that Poland have to win in order to force a third set decider. Americans, having kept level, will be disappointed if they're unable to see it through in straight sets. Line is the call. Just about squeezing it past. The attempt to repel the ball by Prudel. Trademark ponytail flying in the air there. Dalhausser into Fijalek. Dalhausser beaten in the block, desperately wanting Rogers to come with him. Poland retaining their lead. Look at this for a delicate touch. It's the poking. That's a lovely high setting again. Rogers finishes it off with pinpoint accuracy on the angle.
15-16. Dorofel jagar fortfarande. De gjorde det framgångsrikt i första setet och de vände mot slutet. Dalhausser.
Dark cloud that's pointed itself right above this court at the minute, but it's certainly not raining points for one side in concrete. Steady, pretty even. Very high bump up. Good leave. A very, very good leave by Todd Rogers.
On the line, according to our referee.
Well, Rogers thought it was. Referee pointing to the line. He's still looking at it, by the way. Polish, happy to get the point. Big difference between drawing level for the States there. Poland retaining their 2-point lead. It's the latter that happens as Rogers takes down. Again, there's a set. No mistake afforded here by the Americans. They need this. Poland, though, have a chance to make it 3. Fijalek, second chance, whacks it down. And it's that deciding set, the biggest probability of what might happen here now. Brilliant fight shown by the Poles. Really have hung in there in this second set. You think back to what they could have done as well, had they hung on to their lead in the first. Going back to the head-to-head. Only once forced them into a 3-set matchup. That was the gold medal match that we're talking about a little early on in Poland. Rogers. Fijalek this time can't get there, and that was a vital point for the States. If they're to do this in 2, they really need something now. Rogers it will be to serve, but he just about put that away. Rogers is there. There's the call. Oh, he's still going to get there here. Still keeps it in though. Brilliant stuff by Rogers. Dalhausser, but it was easy enough for Fijalek against the little man in the block. 19-16. The United States angry with each other. Rogers in particular, because of what he felt was a poor reverse pass here by Phil Dalhausser. Poor in the sense that he had to run away half of the court just to keep it in. Easy enough in the end. He was once up in the block against his opponent. He was always favourite to lose it. 19-16. 2 away from forcing a third set, Poland here. Big touch from Fijalek, that one. Chance for him to hit home. Rogers up here. Dalhausser, that should be it, and is. So there's the side out. They now need at least 2 points off serve here. You can see Phil Dalhausser still limping away with that troublesome ankle of his. 17-19. You can see the disappointment from Fijalek there. Wanted a little more solidity in the block there from Prudel. Dalhausser, desperate for a couple of those big aces he's capable of. Prudel, there it is, almost without challenge there at the net. Brings up set point. Surely Poland can't let this one go. What was he doing? Was he blocking? Was he peeling off? Real misunderstanding between the Americans there. Almost took a step back before he jumped. And then decided to block cross court. Rogers, Dalhausser bumps up. Here is Todd Rogers. There's the point. But there are 2 more set points for Poland.
Once again, set point.
Unfortunately for the States, it's not Dalhausser to serve. So an ace looks likely to be out of the question unless Rogers can float one across. Well then, Poland had a timeout in hand. They've decided to use it, just to make the Americans think about it. Not sure it was completely necessary just yet. They want to make sure, though, that they have a chance to take a deep breath and side out immediately. Just makes Rogers think about this serve, what he's going to do. Perhaps a little too much. That's the aim of the game anyway. Meantime, all smiles in the crowd. Will these two be smiling after this point, though? Surely can't let this go. So 6 points ahead in the first. They let that one slip, lost it by 2. 2018 up here, with just 1 point required. Whoever they serve to here can side out. Then they're sorted and on to the third. Rogers serving, defending set point. Fijalek. Hits, blocked out, and we go to a decider in this semi-final. Poland, for the second match against the United States in succession, pushing them all the way. It's a real illustration of their progression this season. Big Phil couldn't block in. They required a toss-up again. Rogers says that he'll start.
Ja, ni ska också veta det. Welcome everyone to the fan zone after the game.
The back square. Perhaps a little lucky to have that advantage after the first set. Poland will certainly think so. The American work to get back from 6 down has to be commended. Second set saw plenty of that though. Top defending by Fijalek. Prudel playing his part as well. The Americans downed 21-18. way to keep warm. That is until you spot yourself on the big screen. 21-19, 18-21 then. USA versus Poland. First men's semi-final ahead of the Marcion Benjamin versus Emmanuel and Alison duel that will come straight after this match. Poor start for Poland. They suggest that the last touch came for the United States. The last touch, in fact, came for the net. Hence the point, going the way of Rogers and Dalhausser. Our referee wants to chat to the second referee, Julien Bruxelles. Well, in the end, he changes the decision. Let's have a look again. Touch on the block, he says, so hard to see. Minute all it will have been. That angle did show us a bit more. Referee taking advice from Julien Bruxelles, the French second ref down there. So point reversed, and going the way of Poland. That brings Fijalek to the line. Left by Rogers, no question about that one.
It's going to be an exciting game. Field server.
Oh dear. In fairness to Dalhausser, not seen too many of those from him today. It's come with the territory of serving tough. Prudel floats it into Rogers. Good stuff in the block. Rogers will have a second chance. Line is the call. Poland changed tactics at the last minute. Prudel leaving Fijalek to come up and try and dig the ball out. Needed a bigger spade though. It was firmly placed. Fijalek in the end taking the line with him. Prudel setting high. Rising higher though was big Phil Dalhausser. 3-2. Nothing wrong with the blocking this time. Well done. Didn't do enough of that in set 2. Dropped him rather short. Oh, well, what happened there? Rogers looking a little uncomfortable. Here we go again. Go, go, go was the cry. Rogers, he got all tangled up with his legs in the sand there. He was coming forward. Probably expecting the ball to be cut just in front of the net. Good news is he's up and walking around. It's that left knee of his, remember, that's bothering him. Strapping just below the knee. Here is Todd to rise again. This time gets it right. Moving as freely as he'd want to do. Battling on though. Good news for him is he won't have to serve. He'll leave that to his partner. Now how's his number held up? Again, not as much pace as we've seen earlier on in the match. Still doesn't prevent Prudel from getting the better of him at the net though. So 4-4. Difficult to see which way this match is headed. Don't put it past Poland to squeeze through here. Dalhausser and Rogers not in quite the same form as they were last season when they took the tour title. Best ever season performed by a male team. 9 titles, one of them coming here. And in fact, it was their last participation in the season.
5-4. 5-4.
Did well though. Dalhausser left-handed. Slight advantage for them, siding out for a lead. Double touch called against Rogers-Prudel. Those sort of little mistakes contribute to the opponent getting in front. Let's have a look. Oh, look at the hands come away. Left hand going through the ball, took his right hand away a little earlier. Produces a spin. Not what the referees want to see. 6-4 United States. US still wanting to try and target Fijalek.
Nedbörden fel, det är pulspoäng 5-6. Point for Poland, 5-6.
Dalhausser again, taking some of the net with him.
Once again, Gregor should serve.
Rogers Fijalek though failing on serve. Really need to make their opponents play there. Don't serve it in, of course. You've no chance of winning the point. 7-5. United States almost halfway there in this third set. They look happy about it. Dalhausser sees net servitis catching on.
Theo Marius lyckas bättre, 6-7.
Oh, great hit. Lovely hit. Big arch at the back there. Just setting up. Dalhausser finishing off 8-6. Deciding how to keep that lead intact at the minute. Watch this go. No way back at all. Right in the corner. When it's aimed down at Prudel. Feel like the better defender of the two. Prudel chooses the bump set this time. Rogers is there. Dalhausser needs to make the pass. Just about kept in. Rogers' chance to finish off. And there it is. Now that's a lead that the United States will look to defend right the way through. It's 3 points. It should be enough. Brilliant bit of defending from Rogers. Swings the baseball bat right round at it. This time when he goes for the real swing down the line. That's just enough to beat Prudel and bring up a 9-6 lead. Looking to maintain their unbeaten record this week, the United States. Have hit more form towards the second half of the season. Haven't had a blistering hot start with wins in Brasilia and Shanghai. Then though, came up with 5th places, 9th places. The odd silver and bronze helped them get back in it. Wins in Quebec and Storia Blanca before 3rd in Klagenfurt. Dalhausser's block there. Looking to try and maintain at least a second. I think she might be a Poland fan. Certainly not looking too happy with the fact the Americans have a 4-point lead. Oh, and another block to the mix. 5 in front. Poland really on the back foot now. United States just 4 from victory. Well, how quickly can he change a game? We see it week in, week out on the Swatch World Tour. Dalhausser putting that huge wall of his up at the net. Line block signalled. It's worked for him at the minute. Once again, they'll try and get the opponent in the corner. And it needed a very, very good roll shot there. Fijalek really under pressure after the last few blocks. Dalhausser on a roll. Went for placement and got it. Brilliantly played by the Pole. Prudel will wait just in front of the net. Fijalek it will be. The jump serve cross court. Oh, swatted down by Dalhausser, who is now on a roll. Really is looking a good player. We know he is. We know he's the top man in the world. Certainly on his day. Waiting for him to show that, though. Certainly since the end of the first set. 12-7 now. Finish it off here. Should be a formality now. Certainly with a 5-point lead. Let's one go long. No panic. Prudel will serve. Oh, good serve too. Has the better of Todd Rogers. Couldn't receive. Swung and swerved away from him. This time the reception's better. Set high, block into the mix, and well. Don't write off this Polish team. Certainly a lesson for this commentator. Back to within 2, and it's game on again suddenly. Rogers, contact not great. Prudel really getting some mileage out of that serve. We go again. Dalhausser's down. Super response from him. Fijalek's chance. Now 3 on the spin. Means it's back to within 1. Rogers and Dalhausser will go for a sit down and attempt to block this momentum right off. Timeout called by the USA. Nobody at the net. It's one of the easier points that Fijalek's had to hit. Let's keep it going, he will say. Let's keep this momentum. And the adrenaline that's going, pumping right through the veins. It's not just any old opponent, remember. Olympic champions, former world champions, current tour champions, current champions in Åland. Can ring off the titles all day long. We still need to see this home, though. Brazil versus Brazil will follow this match immediately. First final place, though, still up for grabs. Fall to any 2 of these sides.
I'll give you Poland, USA.
Prudel will remain on serve then. Still a point down here. States in the meantime, we're hoping that their timeout will have done the trick and will help them over the line. Well, it did. Not quite over the line yet, but within 2 points of victory. Prudel, eye off the ball quite naturally when you sit down. They were on such a great run as well. Hence the timeout is such a valuable weapon at certain times in a beach volleyball match. Here goes Rogers. Fijalek will hit. Dalhausser, second chance, brings up match point. And suddenly it swings back the other way. 1 block. And a pounce on the loose ball. Poland rocking, the United States looking to close this out now. 3 ahead. Rogers serving for the match in the 3rd. Fijalek Needs to side out here. Ooh, it was close. It was very close on both counts. Dalhausser got a touch, so did Rogers. So they don't win it on serve, but they're going to have a couple of chances to win it by siding out here. Fijalek can't make a mistake here. It's a good serve too. Rogers, though, will have the chance to hit home and does so. For the second year in a row, Todd Rogers and Phil Dalhausser, the Olympic champions, will play the Åland final. Our first final is confirmed, and just as we saw the women's event, the title holders here in Åland will be given a chance to defend that title by playing for gold tomorrow in the final. Great challenge from Poland. They're getting closer and closer as the weeks go by. Once more, they've pushed Dalhausser and Rogers right to the limit. Unable to force it over the line, though. A shake of hands that shows much respect for the improvement of their European opponents. But the North Americans will once again fight for gold on Sunday. 21-19, 18-21, 15-12. Tight, tense affair, but in the end they push it through. And they look to face off for either Marcion Benjamin or Emmanuel and Allison, the result of which we'll find out in just a few minutes' time. So Rogers and Dalhausser, despite all the injuries, despite the tiredness that starts to creep in at this time of the season, get past the young pretenders, but much more to come, you feel, from Fijalek and Prudel, who have been nothing short of superb again this week. So these are the images from yet another entertaining match. Rogers and Dalhausser blowing hot and cold for much of it. Stunning, superb and spectacular stuff at points. But they were put on the ropes on many an occasion by these two Polish players. Prudel and Fijalek will see them much more next year. We'll see more action here from the SWATCH Tour in just a few minutes, though. Join us again for Brazil versus Brazil.